And we are live at the WOW Summit Dubai 2022. I got the big guy Joel Beats here. Done a few iconic things. Welcome on. I'm David Porter, Washington Elite. Joel, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. You just got off stage. How was that for you?
It's cool. Like, I love talking about metaverses. I love talking about interoperability. I love talking about Ethereum early days. I love talking about the future. So it's a good combination. Yeah.
There you go. So tell us a little bit. When did you first get started in blockchain?
I knew about it like 2010, and I was a bit of a skeptic. I was like, oh, this Bitcoin thing will never work. And then I tried building my own decentralized currency, and it was a total failure.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Bitcoin's pretty cool. Actually, it works. And then the Ethereum white paper came out, and the day it came out, I was like, oh my goodness, I must leave everything I'm doing and join Ethereum. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, Ethereum changed the game. We were even before Ethereum, and we made Global Boost and the script mining algorithm. And so when Ethereum came out, and you could do all these wonderful things, put your data on and build metaverses and everything, it really inspired you, huh?
Super inspiring. Like, I saw smart contracts, I was like, oh my goodness, there's so many things you could do with this. And from like DAOs and all the different logic behind it, I started writing on all these journals, like this, that, and the other. I
hear you. So what was one of the first things that happened that really just made you launch and just take off?
Oh, back then?
Yeah.
Well, I had all kinds of ideas, honestly, and then the one that I thought was like the most valuable as a business product was ultimately building like future financial instruments, like basically tokenization of like real world assets.
Yeah.
And we kind of were starting with like kind of ICO type models, but leaning into like bringing in like brick and mortar assets. Still something I'm like convinced by, but I was like taken aback by like how difficult and slow it was to like educate some of the like regulatory frameworks around these things. So I was like, I tried very actively to engage in the US. I tried in some other jurisdictions, and it was just a very slow process before we actually got something that could be like approved.
Yeah.
I still basically believe in that thing. People call them STOs these days, but yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of little loopholes here and there. So now, like I said, you just came off stage. What was one of the things that you're pushing forward today here at the WOW Summit?
I basically am 100% convinced that we need a layer one for metaverse interoperability. It needs to integrate with kind of Web3, like the best practice of Web3. And I'm really happy because, a bunch of layer twos and cross-chain bridging things have already basically invested in our seat, and they're very optimistic and kind of pushing that this kind of meta language that we've invented is the right way of doing it. Because not only is it like, can you do it like on things that exist today, it actually improves the concept of space. I know it's kind of hard to improve on space and time because we're like used to thinking about this like 3D box of physics stuff, but actually it improves on space. So it's better than real life. So you're probably going to end up spending a lot of time in the metaverse.
Pretty cool. So what's like one of the things on this layer one stuff you need? You need like scalability, your transaction speeds. Like what are you aiming for with the layer one?
So it's not like layer one blockchain. It's layer one protocol for metaverse interoperability. Yeah. So we're super bullish and excited to work with like the layer twos, particularly in the Ethereum world. That's where we have the kind of strongest, adoption from layer twos already. But basically, like, you can go out and build it like a protocol, kind of like metadata that's attached to a blockchain transaction that then describes where the object is in the metaverse. So we have a pretty simple and easy to use protocol that you just say, okay, my object exists here. And that means another object exists here. So that means we can go from this point to that point. And basically everything can be, expressed through sets of vectors. So this from here, here, and we can get there. You maybe have to go through a portal, you may have to change the rendering engine, but it's almost that simple.
Very cool. And so how do you feel with the success of the MetaMask wallet, probably the most widely used wallet out there?
Yeah, I mean, people credit me for starting MetaMask. It's basically true with like my idea and whatever. I got the first financing. I have mixed feelings about it though. Ultimately, obviously they just shut off Iran. It was kind of like, okay, well, we can just shut off people. It's not really very decentralized. Yeah. If you could just turn off things. And then also, I still think it's like a few steps removed from really being like a mass consumer project. Like if we, for example, from this metaverse protocol stuff don't have like 10 million users in a year, I'm going to be disappointed, because I'm going to think like, Roblox is this amount, these other things are this amount. We need to have that amount of adoption. So like what's big for like crypto native people isn't so much what's big for like gaming people. Yeah. And I want to be big by the standards of gaming and global commerce and stuff. So it's also why I took a little crypto retirement for a couple of years, because was like the scope wasn't big enough for me to stay interested.
And so what's your foresight on these metaverse gaming or these gaming wallets that are going to come out? Is MetaMask going to be it, or is it another company that's going to step forward?
That's a tricky question and goes into some secret sauce stuff, actually, because we started working on a browser for the metaverse, because actually it's interesting. Back when MetaMask was created, the Ethereum Foundation was funding a bunch of different downloadable clients. There's a Go one, a C++ one, and they were all kind of cool, but they were like, I don't know, a little bit clunky as far as user experience. But that was actually a very secure environment to do things. It meant to kind of be like a browser to the decentralized universe. And I was the one who said, guys, I think the browser, like normal web browser, where people are going to come. And I was obviously correct. But like today, I actually think the opposite. I think like what we need, because there's enough customer adoption, is something that's very secure and that basically gives us access not just to like cool Web3 stuff, but actually the future of the metaverse. So, I think there's some huge amount of opportunity to build in that direction. Like MetaMask is probably like a 5-year project or whatever else, but I think it's going to be an amazing 5 years, and I can't wait to see what's at the end of it.
Very cool. So we're here in Dubai. Do you spend a lot of time in Dubai?
Kind of by accident, honestly. I showed up here and I was like, oh, it's cool, and then other people, oh, you can't come to my country. So I'm like, okay, cool. Dubai's pretty good.
Dubai sucks you in.
Then I really think the entrepreneurial community here and like tech community has really grown a huge amount in the last year, and not just in numbers, but by like really hard-nosed, good entrepreneurs and stuff. So my social network here is packed with great people. That said, there's lots of other great places in the world too, but I'm very excited and happy to be 50% of my time at least in Dubai.
Very cool. So it is going to get hot soon. Today they even had to push the conference back several hours to the afternoon. What's the next month or two look like for you?
Lisbon, maybe Thailand. I'm going to try to go by the US a little bit, at least for Burning Man, because we're building one of these experiences. I don't know if we'll get a chance to go in the cube that's kind of like behind us effectively, but let's like show people the cube. But we're building one of these things like cool. We're bridging from virtual to like real world things. But one of these experiences basically going to Burning Man. And being built at Burning Man. It's like a 45-meter diameter fractal amphitheater right here, right now, if we can turn around. Whoa, look at this thing. So yeah, there's like the meta ships flying around. We're inside the cube. There are like cubes in space. There's cubes everywhere. There's cubes inside cubes because there's fractals everywhere. Fractal of life is like exploding around us. And it's a bridge into all the alternative physics and stuff like that too. So if you ever want to like code parallel realities, parallel dimensions, I mean, we found the right place. This is where you want to be.
I like going into these places.
Yeah, so it's like super exciting. You have the future of Dubai here, flying around, and you can get in a flying car, you can cruise around, you simulate flying traffic patterns. That's the first thing we did. So yeah, there's like a lot of things you can do with simulators. Both games, but also like city planning. What's going to happen if we, add a McDonald's here and change this road here, whatever else? How's that going to change things?
Right.
From what I've seen, a lot of cities aren't really using all that data. They have the finger place, and then you got Mars going on. I don't know, like everyone seems to want to land on Mars. There's only so much land on Mars. I mean, so if you don't get it, you don't have a spot on Mars.
Right. Or if you're looking to go somewhere, you can do the whole walkthrough. I know the Burj Khalifa is going to have their interior completely metaverse style. You get to virtually walk through the whole place.
Yeah, that stuff is amazing. Totally. And there's a room for a bunch of different things. What we have as a benefit from this kind of protocol stuff is everything connects to everything else. So you could, be in, some other city or around Mars and then come, cruise across the kind of Burj Khalifa,
And so do you have any other favorites that are working on the augmented reality versions?
I love augmented reality. It's a similar concept of virtual reality. Like the hardware delivery stuff isn't quite there. To be like everyday accessible experiences or providing that value, but I'm still actively following it. I think we will get involved in the hardware space at some point, just from a protocol adoption standpoint. So I'm super excited about when that comes along as well.
It's awesome. Yeah. So Joel Dietz, I tagged you on Twitter. You have a website.
Metaverse.io is the one we're using for the kind of protocol stuff. Very
There
good.
you go. All right, man. I'll let you get off the hook. We're gonna go continue to network. We're at the WOW Summit Dubai 2022, Washington Elite. We'll see you soon.
And if you need your own metaverse, come find us.
This guy can do it for you.